I can ride home. All right. Well, hello, everybody on YouTube. It's the Wingnut. And, yeah. I'm riding home. Just left the gym and work. Trying to get home safely as possible. It's been warm, man. The last weekend or so, last week here in Virginia has been kind of nice, up to 70 degrees in some places. Can't really complain. Unfortunately, we still don't have a replacement camera, so you guys can't see my smiling mug, even though you really couldn't see it before, but the sunglasses were cool, right? And, yeah. So, you guys notice I haven't been posting a lot here lately. And to be perfectly honest, the reason that hasn't been happening is I've been feeling a little burned about it. There's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about, but I really can't because I don't know where it falls within what I'm allowed to talk about within the military. And I'm not talking about stuff at work. I'm talking about stuff around work. And it's just really hard sometimes to talk about certain subjects because if the wrong person understood what I was saying or misunderstood what I was saying, it could be construed as not okay within the military. And it is what it is. So there are some things I can't talk about. And when I usually get on here on the YouTube and I do the talking and the yammering and the speaking with my hands, it's dealing with stuff that is on my mind. And since I can't talk about it, I'm not going to be able to. Like, I don't share a lot of stuff that goes on with my work. It's not because I'm prohibited from talking about my work. I just don't think this is the right place to vent that. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. But that's how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles, so to speak. There are some things going on right now in the world around us. For instance, Virginia, where I currently am stationed and live, is shedding politicians like a Playboy bunny is shedding clothes. Now, maybe I don't understand something when it comes to politics, but in the information age we have now, if you've done some dirt, somebody gonna find it, especially if they're motivated to find it. So if you're a politician and you've done dirt, they got you. They got you. All right? Even if you haven't done dirt, if someone thinks you've done dirt, the data's there to be manipulated. Straight up. And I'm not going to comment on each individual instance of what's going on in Virginia. You guys have the Google. The Google will lead you home. All right? As far as, you're a politician. You're in the public eye, your name's out there, people know it. I don't care if you're a road commissioner in Giles County, Tennessee. All right, or the county clerk. You're a politician. You ran for that office, you got it. Especially if you're an elected official. But the thing is let's be honest. This is the information age. Someone somewhere took their entire fucking yearbook and scanned it into a computer. Someone somewhere took pictures that you thought were long gone, they found them in a shoebox, and they uploaded them to the internet because they want to have them forever, because the internet is infinite and unstoppable. Or they wanted to share it with friends. The data is out there. So if you're a politician and you've done dirt, your shit's coming out. But the funny part is when does that shit come out? Is it going to come out when it's convenient for you? or it's going to come out for when it's convenient for somebody else that's trying to remove you or tarnish your image, or even tarnish your particular party's image to benefit themselves. So I've noticed that, like, you'll see a lot of sensationalization when it comes to politicians doing wrong at certain times, and then weeks later, when elections are over with or hearings are over with, those accusations or sensationalized events, and I'm not talking about whether they're true or not, I'm just talking about the scope of it. I think if you've done wrong, you know, karma's a bitch. But what I'm talking about is the scope of it. If you've done wrong and your shit's out there, it's going to come out. And when it comes out, is the circumstances in which some of these events come out, I'm not a very smart man, but if you're going up for election or re-election, and all of a sudden your dirt starts coming out because it's the information age during your election, I mean, it's just mudslinging. Now, yeah. Or let's say, you know, we're trying to get somebody we want appointed to a position we want. And all of a sudden there's all this garbage and crap. Well, like 3 or 4 weeks later, when it's all said and over with and done, what happens with these accusations? Nothing. You don't hear anything ever again. Like, that shit disappears. Poof. Bitch, be gone. Like it never happened. Now, I don't know if that's because it's no longer sensational news and the media doesn't want to cover it because it's not selling. Or, well, I mean, that kind of summed it up there, didn't it? So once it's no longer sensational news, it's no longer selling. If people don't want to watch it no more because it's either overdone or that, it just goes away. Like, you never hear any follow-up on it. And I'm starting to get a feeling like that's just how it's going to be when it comes to anything that goes in the news. You know what I mean? I mean, the news has become doom and gloom and the end of the world and everything else. And it's really sad because, you know, you're not really getting information. You're getting viewpoints off of somebody. And it's not like we're doing the news on news items before anybody knows anything about it. And I'm not defending anybody doing anything wrong, but the court of opinion is out long before the data is there. You know, if you do wrong, you do wrong, and I hope you get punished for it. If I do wrong, it's going to get me sooner or later. I mean, that's just a realization of it. You know, but I cannot, for the life of me, fathom how all this shit comes up in the news when it does, the way it does, and it's all just a matter of convenience. Someone's been holding on to that golden damn ticket of your wrongdoing for so long until it's like the absolute best moment to pull it. In the case of you, people taking pictures of you doing stupid shit when you were a teenager, all right, or in college. Someone's been sitting on that shit for years. For years. And then they pull that card now, man, you miffed the wrong fool. Now, are there instances where people find stuff out that you've hidden for a long time? Yeah. Are there instances where people do wrong and it comes out years later because the victims finally have the courage to speak about it? Yeah. But I'm not ready to hang a person without seeing proof, evidence. That's why we have a jury. That's why we have a justice system. Now, I know our justice system isn't perfect, but it doesn't get better by removing it. It gets better by holding people accountable. And I mean, I'm kind of all over the place with this, but it just... if you're in the public eye, someone's going to pull your card, man. They are. Especially if you have a viewpoint or an idea or you're moving in a direction that bothers somebody. They're going to try to find, oh, this dude needs to go. This guy's got to go. I don't like what he's saying. I don't like what he's doing. Hey, wait a minute. Back in 1980 whatever, I remember this guy did this. I wonder if there's a picture of that. I wonder if there's proof. And they call a friend. Hey, Bob, you got a picture of this party of this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's when old such and such put panties on the head and ran around the place. That was very insensitive. Let's get rid of this fool. And that's just one example of 100 ways this thing can happen. It's just so... And I don't want to start saying fake news, fake news, fake news. Because you know what? Every bit of data we currently acquire is trimmed through social engineering, especially online or through media outlets or through your phone, is trimmed to fit your preferences. So if you search a certain thing so many times, it's gonna start feeding you more of that. You know, I mean, it's an algorithm, just like the YouTube. I keep saying the YouTube like I'm like a very web inexperienced person. The YouTubes, the Facebooks, the books of face. But the point is, you know, I talked about social engineering a while back. I'll throw the link in the description below, or I'll even link the social engineering video to it. Social engineering is where you design everything around a given response that you want people to do. All right? It's lines on the pavement. It's boxes around, painted around an ATM. It's the stuff that your kid grabs at the grocery store that's at kid level height that's like 50, 60 cents, but it's left right there, and it's a pack of like 20 of those damn things, and they're brightly colored, and they're positioned to easily fall off the rack, so your kid can get their hand on it and want it because they got their hands on it, and it's mine, and you're gonna buy it. That's why all your kids' cereals are held at put on at kids' level. You know what I mean? It's why when you go to a casino, it's hard to find your way around in them if you're not familiar with it, because when you walk in, you go in so many aisles, you turn around, you can't see the exit. The idea is to keep you there, pumping money and time and effort into the machine. I mean, so why would it not be the same way for media or news or information? Because people want what they want when they want it. And we're such a society of instant gratification that it's not surprising the way things are laid out. We've done this to ourselves. So if you go to try to look stuff up, and you look stuff up, and you look stuff up, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, your news feed's full of it. Your apps are full of it. Your phone's telling you about it. Even when you're not wanting to talk about it because you've looked at it enough that the algorithm knows that, hey, boop, this interests this person. So then you end up feeding yourself the same stuff. That's how our stuff is set up. So you take that into account, how these algorithms are set up, how all this information is set up to be fed to us in the way that it's fed to us. And then you have somebody do something stupid, and the algorithms are going to force feed that dumb to every person who's ever so much has looked at anything remotely resembling who you are, what you do, or anything that's done like that. All right? Keyword searches, algorithm searches, it's all going to funnel you're stupid. And by you're stupid, I mean the bad things you've done, or the perceived bad things you've done, to the people who want to hate you the most. The people who want to burn you the most. It's going to force feed it to them, because that's how the system's designed. I mean, it's just psychotic. I mean, I've seen people get in trouble in the military. They got into trouble in the military. All right, come to find out what they were accused of was false. But by the time it was all cleared up in the civilian courts, because their name had made it into the news, and it makes the Navy look bad, or it makes that branch looks bad. And in that case, the guy wasn't Navy. Dude, he was gone. His name was associated with something, and that was almost 20 years ago, when the internet was a fickle thing. It wasn't as commonplace. So, I mean, it's... Then you just get a ticket for doing that? They got a disabled vehicle or something down the road. But it's just one of those things. You know? I mean, what you want? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's what it is. You know, and this thing's been long and rambly and shit, but I don't think I'm going to edit too much of this out. I think I'm going to leave it as off the cuff as I can, simply because it is what it is. Well, I hate that misnomer. I keep saying it. It is what it is. But what it boils down to is people are, you know, some people are really excited, some people are really outraged, some people are just really freaked out by all the stuff that's been going on in the news and media and all these politicians. Because you have to understand, I'm still talking about the fact that we've had like 4 or 5 politicians in Virginia all get busted for stupid shit. Yeah.